I'm going to inform you today about the sweetest place on earth, Hershey, Pennsylvania, and the remarkable achievements of Milton Hershey and how he grew and built Hershey, Pennsylvania. Hershey, Pennsylvania would not even exist if it wasn't for Milton Hershey. Hershey is known by many, but how many truly know the history of the world famous beginnings and how it all came about? This is what I'm going to share with you today in our start from the beginning. First, the world's sweetest town, Hershey, Pennsylvania, all came about from a man named Milton Hershey. Milton Hershey was born in 1857 in rural Pennsylvania. His family was a part of the Mennonite community. Milton Hershey grew up poor and had no education after the fourth grade. Milton's father, Henry, would travel all around to find work and sometimes was gone for years at a time. From a young age, Milton was working on the family farm. He learned very fast about the value of hard work and perseverance. Milton had a little sister named Serena that died at the age of 4, and some say from hunger and some say from a disease. When Milton Hershey was 14, he started an apprenticeship in Lancaster, Pennsylvania as a candy maker. In 1876, at the age of 18, Milton Hershey tried to start his own candy business. His Aunt Fanny lent him the $150 to start, so he thought it was only right to name the business after her. This business was in Philadelphia on Spring Garden Street, and it was named Fanny's Candies. But just after 6 hard years, it failed. Milton then moved to Denver, which he worked with a confectioner who taught him how to make caramels from fresh milk. A few years later, he opened another candy business in New York, which also failed. Milton Hershey never gave up. Milton was almost bankrupt by the age of 30, but surprisingly, he became one of America's most wealthiest entrepreneurs. In 1886, Milton started Lancaster Caramel Company, which became a huge success. This specifically set the bar and the stage for Milton and his future accomplishments in the candy business. Then in 1898, Milton Hershey found the love of his life, Catherine, which everybody knew her as Kitty, and married her the same year. And this is how it all started. First, Milton went to an exhibit and he had saw in a machine to make chocolate. He was so impressed that he bought it. After many years of trial and error, he thought he came up with the best recipe for milk chocolate. Secondly, he tried and tried, and finally, he put together cocoa beans, milk, and sugar, but had to do it just right by melting down the cocoa beans, mixing everything up just correctly with the machine, and only using fresh milk. So in 1900, Milton really did it. He found the recipe for the world famous mouth-watering chocolate that so many of us still love today. So Milton decided to sell his caramel business in New York, they say for $1 billion, but that seems like a lot of money in 1900, so I'm really not sure. Thirdly, in the 1900s, the chocolate was a luxury item that only the rich could afford. Milton made it very, very clear that he wanted this candy to be affordable for everyone, rich or poor. His candy was affordable. His Hershey bar cost 32 cents in 1900. The wonderful recipe was made out of special cocoa beans, sugar, and milk, but he would never tell anybody how he did it just right. Milton Hershey candy was quickly known around the world. He needed to expand his factory and fast. He found a swamp farmland of 1,200 acres 30 miles northwest of Lancaster, less than a mile of where he grew up. And he purchased all the land. He made sure it was big enough to expand if he needed. There was nothing but land and farm. No houses, no stores anywhere closely. He had cows and a farm added very quickly for quick, fresh production of milk. Milton hired only local workers, and Milton would not hesitate to jump right in there and get dirty and work right alongside of them. Milton Hershey was a shy man, but a very smart man, and he treated his workers as an equal. His Hershey Dairy Farm was located in Church, PA, which was a very small farm town, which eventually grew and became known as Hershey. Hershey Company grew very fast. In 1907, they added the Hershey Kisses, 1908, Hershey with almonds, and it went on and on from there. In 1903, Milton started the construction on what was going to be the world's largest chocolate manufacturing plant. and it was completed in 1905. Hershey was the first nationally marketed product of its kind. Once Milton Hershey knew that his company was a complete victory, him and his wife started to build a model town for their employees, which included affordable, comfortable homes, inexpensive public transportation system, quality public schools, recreational and cultural opportunities. Milton and Kitty refused to build row homes. They wanted the dream perfect town. They wanted beautiful homes that people could be proud of. In 1907, Hershey's built Hershey Park, which over many years things such as amusement parks, trolleys, and so forth were added. In addition, this brought thousands of out-of-town visitors. Hershey also established a sugar house in Cuba, which also brought lots of visitors. In 1912, Kitty and Milton were supposed to board the Titanic, but canceled at the last minute due to Kitty being sick. The Museum of Hershey displayed the check that was written from a first-class stateroom to the Titanic. And this made Kitty and Milton realize how their life was so important. Kitty and Milton could not have children, so they decided to give back and start the Hershey Industrial School, which this school taught trade skills. Milton was a very firm believer about giving skills and life skills so people can move further on in life because he had no education. So this was very important to him. They also decided to give a lot back and started to build a big town. During World War II, Milton made a special candy bar for U.S. troops. These were known as the Ration D bar. They had to be very specific weight, held up to a certain degree, and these were a huge hit, and the troops appreciated it very much. Sadly, Kitty died prematurely in 1915, and Milton was crushed. Milton transferred most of his assets, including the control of the company, to the Hershey School. Hershey grew so fast as a town that they added hotels, parks, golf clubs, museums, country clubs, sports clubs, hospitals, the famous World Chocolate Factory and Chocolate Town, and so much more. This is one of the most visited towns in the world. Milton Hershey passed away in 1945 at age 88. Milton Hershey did not only build an empire of milk chocolate, but build a town surrounding it with street names such as Cocoa Ave, East Chocolate Street, Hershey Kiss Street Lights, and so on. In 1983, Christmas in Hershey started and was an enormous success. It was known as Winter Wonderland, and I'm sure you can all sing along with the commercials. I know I can. The point of this story is that Milton Hershey grew up poor and tried and failed so many times. However, every time he got knocked down, he got right back up and tried again. He had nothing before he was 30, nothing but ideas. And with that, he built a kingdom. And that lives on today. Milton Hershey is known as the king of chocolate. He can be compared to J.P. Morgan and Rockefeller. He just built a chocolate legacy. Hershey milk chocolates are a mouth-watering goodness that many people take pleasure in. But Milton's chocolates are not all that he was known for. He was truly an entrepreneur, and he had the biggest heart. He gave so much generosity to everyone in the town and around the world. He would do anything to help anybody, especially children. Milton's legend lives on today. The moral of the story is do not ever give up when you get kicked down. Get right back up and try again. Don't ever get up. Get to your ultimate goal. And I just want to show you, this is a timeline that I made. Is a timeline that when he was born, 1857, 1876, he started his own candy business, 1886, started Lancaster Company, married Catherine, first milk chocolate bar, and then he started his own company. Then when Kitty died, and then it goes on to say everything he established, the hospitals, the museums, the theaters, that he helped out with World War II. And when the candy bars were put in, Christmas in Hershey, the Hershey Lodge. And then this is just facts about him. This is Milton Hershey. And then it's, he only finished fourth grade. And he has touched so many, not just making the most delicious world famous chocolates, but by caring and giving to everyone he has and by helping others. That's my presentation on Milton Hershey. Thanks.